Hello students, now in this class we solve some numericals on relative velocity. And the first question is, two parallel rail tracks run north to south. Train A moves north with a speed of 54 km per hour and train B moves south with a speed of 90 km per hour. What is the question A, velocity of B with respect to A, and B, velocity of ground with respect to B, and C, the velocity of monkey running on the roof of train A against its motion with a velocity of 18 km per hour with respect to A as observed by a man standing on the ground. Okay. So now first we solve one by one. First, there are two trains. So here this is a train A, and next there I consider train B. They are running on two parallel tracks. So out of these two, one we should take positive, another one we take a negative. Now let us consider the direction from north to south along a positive x direction. North to south along positive x direction. So it means here we have to consider the velocity of A positive. So that velocity of A given is 54 km per hour. Convert it into meter per second. So which can be converted by multiplying this 5 by, if you multiply this 54 by 5 by 18, you will get a meter per second. Then what we get? We get 15 meter per second is the velocity of A. Then the velocity of B, so it is 90 km per hour is given, and we have taken A as a positive, then B should be negative. Then here we should write 90 into 5 by 80. So we will get 25 meter per second. If you simplify this, we will get a 25 meter per second. Then the question A, the velocity of B with respect to A. Velocity of B with respect to A is VB minus, we will write this as VBA is equal to VB minus VA. So here that VBA is equal to VBA is equal to, so what is VB? VB is, here I will take this one as a negative, minus. So minus 25 minus 15, so that velocity is minus 40 meter per second. The relative velocity of B with respect to A is minus 40 meter per second. Suppose if we have calculated the velocity of A with respect to B, then what is the velocity? It is plus 40 meter per second. And next one, question B. The velocity of ground with respect to B. Velocity of ground with respect to B. So that is velocity of ground and then velocity of B. So velocity of ground is equal to 0 and the velocity of B is equal to minus 25 meter per second. So that velocity of ground with respect to B is plus 25 meter per second. So this is the answer for a question. Velocity of ground is equal to 0 and the velocity of B is minus 25, minus into minus plus, so that velocity of ground with respect to B is plus 25 meter per second. And next question C. Okay, see here. The train A is moving in this direction. With what velocity? The train A is moving with a velocity plus 15 meters per second. And the monkey is running over the roof of this train with a speed, with a relative speed they are given with a velocity of 18 km per hour with respect to A. The relative velocity of monkey with respect to A is 18 km per hour. Okay, the velocity of monkey with respect to A is 18 km per hour, and the velocity of A we are taken positive, and the monkey is running opposite to that one. The monkey is running opposite to the direction of velocity of A. So here we have to take this as minus. So then convert it into meter per second. Minus 18 into 5 by 18, we get minus 5 meter per second. Minus 5 meter per second. Next, what we have to calculate? Here we have to calculate the velocity of the velocity of monkey running on the roof of the train A against its motion as observed by a man standing on the ground. Here a person was standing. Okay. He observing that monkey. Okay. The train is moving with a speed 15 meter per second, and that monkey is moving opposite to that. So what is the velocity of this monkey with respect to the ground? Means by an observer standing on the ground, the velocity of the person who was standing on the ground is equal to 0. So then that can be calculated by the formula velocity of a train with respect to velocity of relative velocity of a train, and it is 15 meter per second minus the velocity of this monkey 5 meter per second, and the answer is 10 meter per second. For an observer, the velocity of this monkey appears as to be 10 meter per second. Okay. So this is the solution of our first question, and we will solve another question on a relative velocity. So now the next question on a relative velocity. On a two-lane road, a car A is traveling with a speed of 36 km per hour, and two cars B and C approach A in opposite direction with a speed of 54 km per hour each. It means there is a two-lane road on this. Here we have a car A, and next one. So there is a car B I consider, and next one car C. Car A is moving with a velocity V in this direction. Car B is moving with a velocity VB in this direction. Car C is moving with a velocity VC in this direction, because two cars B and C approach A. Both B and C approaching A in the opposite direction. They are in the opposite direction with a speed of 54 km per hour each. Okay. Next one. At a certain instant, when the distance AB is equal to, and the distance AB is equal to 1000 meter, AB is equal to AC. So the distance of car B from A is equal to the distance of car C from A is equal to what? 1 kilometer. B decides to overtake A before C does. So car B decides overtake A before C does. What is the minimum acceleration of a car B, and is car B is required to avoid an accident? Okay, here this is the question. So now solution. Velocity of car A is equal to how much? 36 kilometer per hour. If we convert it into meter per second, 36 into 5 divided by 18. 18 1 is 18 2 is. So the answer is 10 meter per second. Similarly, the velocity of car B is equal to 54 kilometer per hour, and it is taken positive because the direction of motion of car A and car B are same, so that it is 54 into 5 divided by 18 is equal to 15 meter per second. 18 3 is 54. So similarly, the velocity of car C is equal to minus 54 kilometer per hour, because car C is moving opposite to the direction of motion of A. So here it is minus 15 meter per second. Okay. Now here, first we calculate. We have calculated velocity of A, velocity of B in meter per second, and velocity of C in meter per second. First we calculate relative velocity of car C with respect to A. Relative velocity of car C with respect to car A is a VCA. It is given by VC minus. So then VCA is equal to, what is the VC value? Minus 15 meter per second. And what is VA value? Plus 10 meter per second. So it is minus 25 meter per second. So we got the relative velocity of, so this is A and this is C, and here this is. So the distance of A from B is 1000 meter, 1 kilometer. The distance of A from C is also 1 kilometer, that is 1000 meter. Okay. So when it is, the distance is equal to 1000 meter from both, B decide to overtake A before C does ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ ಏನಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಾರ್ ಸಿ ಇದು 1000 ಮೀಟರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಈಗ ಕಾರ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ವಿತ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ವಾಟ್ 10 ಮೀಟರ್ ಪರ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಕಾರ್ ಸಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ 15 ಮೀಟರ್ ಪರ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಡುವೆ ಇರುವಂತ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಎಷ್ಟು 1000 ಮೀಟರ್. ಈ 1000 ಮೀಟರ್ ವಿತ್ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ VCA ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ನ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಈ 1000 ಮೀಟರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರ್ ಸಿ ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ the time can be calculated by the formula time t is equal to the distance divided by relative velocity VCA. So what is the distance between A and C? The distance between A and C is 1000 meter, because the given distance is 1 kilometer. 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter divided by the relative velocity of C with respect to A is 25 meter per second. I will not consider a negative sign. So here it is 25 ones are 25, 40. So it means to cover a distance of 1000 meter, car C require 40 seconds. So ಈ 1000 meter distance ನ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರ್ ಸಿ ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಬೇಕು? 40 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಕಾರ್ ಬಿ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್, ವಿತೌಟ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಕಾರ್ ಎ ನ ಓವರ್ಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ ಬಿ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ it should overtake A before ಯಾವಾಗ ಬಿಫೋರ್ 40 seconds, ವಿದಿನ್ 40 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒಳಗಡೆನೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ ಎ ನ ಓವರ್ಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ 40 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ದ ಕಾರ್ ಸಿ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್. 40 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಕಾರ್ ಸಿ ಈ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡು ಆ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರ್ ಬಿ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ದಟ್ ಓವರ್ಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟೆಡ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ the relative velocity of what? Relative velocity of car B with respect to car B, which is VB minus VA, because both are traveling in the same direction. What is the VB value? 15 meter per second. What is the VA value? 10 meter per second. Car B 15 meter per second, car A 10 meter per second. So that relative velocity is 5 meter per second. And I will consider this as so this VBA can be considered as initial velocity, and so initial velocity. Next, minimum acceleration. Minimum acceleration required to avoid accident can be calculated by x equal to v naught t plus half at square. So without making an accident overtake ಮಾಡಿ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಆಕ್ಸಲರೇಷನ್ ಬೇಕು? ಸೊ ಆ ಆಕ್ಸಲರೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಈ ಈಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ಇಂದ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾರ್ A from B is equal to 1000 meter. So what is the initial velocity? I'll take this velocity of B with respect to A as an initial velocity, and it is 5 meter per second. 5 meter per second. Okay. So then what is the time? 40. So here we have calculated. So then acceleration required as it is time t is equal to 40 square. Then 1000 meter I write as it is 5 into 40 is equal to 200 plus, so A divided by 2 into 40 square is equal to 1600. So now take this 200 this side. 1000 minus 200 is equal to 800. So I write that 1000. If you have taken this 200 to the LHS part, it will become minus 200 is equal to 2 ones are 2 800. So this is 800. So 1000 minus 200 is equal to 800, and this is also 800. So that the minimum acceleration required is equal to 800 divided by 800 is equal to 1 meter per second. So here the minimum acceleration required to avoid an accident is 1 meter per second square. Okay, car B ಮತ್ತೆ car C which are at a distance equal to 1 kilometer from A. Car B decide to overtake C before C does. Okay, ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಕಾರ್ ಎ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು, ಕಾರ್ ಬಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಲರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಆಕ್ಸಲರೇಷನ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್? ದಟ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಆಕ್ಸಲರೇಷನ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಈಸ್ 1 meter per second square. Okay. So next the remaining problems we will solve in our next class.